Beyond Agate's spoilers tease that Anita is finally standing at the edge of a miracle she has fought for with every ounce of strength left in her body, because after weeks of brutal chemotherapy and silent suffering, the signs now point to her possible victory over triple-negative breast cancer. The pain, the exhaustion, and the endless hospital corridors have carved deep lines into her spirit, but they have never managed to break her determination. For Anita and the entire Dupree family, this moment feels like the first real breath after being held underwater for far too long. Every tear, every sleepless night, and every whispered prayer now seems to be gathering into one fragile but powerful hope. This is not just medical progress, but the emotional turning point that everyone in the family has been desperately waiting for. The news first reaches Vernon in a quiet and controlled hospital room where the doctor explains that Anita's tumor has responded to the treatment and has successfully shrunk. The words land slowly, almost unreal, as the doctor carefully outlines that the next step will likely be scheduling surgery to remove the tumor from her breast. Vernon struggles to contain the wave of relief that crashes through him, because for the first time in weeks, the future no longer feels like a closed door. He thanks the doctor repeatedly, his voice shaking with gratitude and disbelief. In that moment, he realizes how close they had been to losing hope entirely. Without wasting another second, Vernon rushes home, driven by the urgent need to share this life-changing news with Anita. His heart is racing, not from fear this time, but from the overwhelming desire to see her smile again. He rehearses the words in his head, imagining how her face might soften when she finally hears what the doctor said. For once, the house he is returning to does not feel like a place of silent waiting, but a place where celebration might finally be allowed. Yet nothing prepares him for what he is about to see. When Vernon steps inside, he is instantly frozen in place by the sight of Anita sitting quietly without her long hair. The familiar image of the woman he has known and loved for so many years suddenly feels distant, replaced by someone who looks both stronger and more vulnerable at the same time. The shock cuts through his excitement and leaves him struggling to process what he is seeing. The joyful words he carried all the way home are trapped in his chest, replaced by a rush of emotion he cannot control. For a brief moment, he is terrified that something else has gone wrong. Danny stands beside her mother, gently resting a hand on Anita's shoulder, and it quickly becomes clear that she was the one who cut her mother's hair. Danny explains that they believed it would ease Anita's emotional burden, so she would not have to watch her hair fall out slowly and painfully because of chemotherapy. To Danny, it was an act of love, not loss, and a way to help Anita take back control of something the disease had tried to steal. Anita remains calm, even peaceful, as if she has already accepted this new version of herself. Danny cannot hide how deeply she admires her mother's courage. Vernon finally breaks the heavy silence, but his voice trembles as emotion overwhelms him before he can even share the good news. Anita and Danny immediately sense that something is wrong, because his reaction is far more intense than they expected. Vernon asks Anita why she chose to let go of her hair and why she looks so different now, clearly struggling to reconcile the image in front of him with the woman he loves. Anita answers simply and firmly that she wanted change and that she needs him to accept it. Her words are not defensive, but quietly powerful. Now Anita wants to know what has made Vernon so emotional, because she can see that his reaction goes far beyond surprise. Vernon finally gathers himself and tells her that the doctor confirmed the tumor has shrunk after the chemotherapy. He explains that this means surgery will soon be possible, and the cancer can finally be physically removed from her body. The words feel almost unreal as they leave his mouth, but the relief in his eyes makes everything unmistakably clear. For the first time in a long time, the future is no longer just a question mark. Danny immediately wraps her arms around Anita, unable to contain her joy and relief any longer. She congratulates her mother through tears, overwhelmed by the realization that the worst may finally be behind them. Anita's own tears fall quietly, not from pain, but from gratitude and the fragile rebirth of hope she had nearly lost. The belief that her fight has truly mattered finally ignites inside her again. In this moment, She allows herself to imagine life beyond hospital appointments and medical charts. Anita gently tells Danny that strength is not something you are born with, but something you discover when you are forced to survive. She reminds her daughter that courage can push illness back, even when the body feels like it is failing. Her voice is soft, yet unshakable, shaped by weeks of silent endurance. She wants Danny to carry this lesson into her own life, long after this battle has ended. To Anita, this victory belongs to everyone who refused to stop believing in her. Danny suddenly realizes that the rest of the family needs to hear this news immediately. Both Vernon and Anita agree, knowing how deeply everyone has been affected by the uncertainty surrounding her condition. Danny steps aside and begins making phone calls, her voice filled with emotion as she shares the breakthrough with one family member after another. Each call feels like lifting a heavy weight from someone's heart. The relief spreads outward, connecting the entire family through a shared moment of hope. Chelsea soon arrives to visit Anita, unaware of how much has changed since the last time she saw her grandmother. The moment she sees Anita without her long hair, she freezes in surprise, clearly unprepared for such a dramatic transformation. Danny gently explains that her grandmother has successfully responded to chemotherapy. The words sound almost magical, like something Chelsea has been afraid to hope for. The tension in her face melts away as she finally understands what this moment truly means. Chelsea immediately tells Anita how strong and amazing she thinks she is. Her admiration is pure and unfiltered, shaped by watching her grandmother endure something far beyond her own understanding. Anita smiles at her, clearly touched by the sincerity of her granddaughter's words. In Chelsea's eyes, Anita is no longer just someone who is sick, but someone who has proven that fear does not always win. That realization alone makes every painful treatment feel worthwhile. Anita playfully asks Chelsea how she feels about her new haircut, knowing that the change must be startling for her. Chelsea studies her carefully before smiling and telling her that it actually looks great. She admits that Anita looks different, but also beautiful in a way she did not expect. The honesty in her voice brings lightness into the room that has been missing for far too long. Even laughter, gentle and brief, feels like a victory in itself. For Anita, this moment represents the ending she had quietly prayed for during the darkest days of her illness. She has faced triple-negative breast cancer with unwavering courage, even when the physical and emotional pain seemed unbearable. Every hospital visit and every exhausting treatment session tested her limits. Yet she never stopped believing that her strength could carry her through. Now, she stands on the side of survival, not surrender. As Vernon watches Anita smile again, he understands just how deeply this journey has changed both of them. He has been beside her through every setback, every painful side effect, and every night filled with uncertainty. His presence has not been loud or heroic, but constant and unshakable. In the quiet moments when fear threatened to overwhelm her, Vernon was the one who reminded her that she was not fighting alone. Their bond has grown stronger under pressure instead of breaking. Vernon truly believes that nothing can defeat them as long as they continue to face every challenge together. His unwavering support has played a crucial role in Anita's treatment and emotional survival. He has walked this painful road with her, sharing every burden and every fragile moment of hope. Together, they have transformed suffering into resilience. In their story, love has become a powerful form of medicine. Anita now understands that survival is not only about defeating cancer, but also about reclaiming her identity in the process. Cutting her hair was not about giving in, but about taking control over something the illness tried to steal from her. It was her way of declaring that she still owns her body, her choices, and her future. The woman she sees in the mirror may look different, but she feels stronger than she has in a very long time. This transformation is not loss, but renewal. As the family gathers around her, Anita feels something she has not felt in weeks: peace. The heavy shadow that once filled the room begins to lift, replaced by quiet optimism and collective relief. Each smile, each gentle touch, and each whispered word of encouragement reinforces that she is surrounded by love. The fear that once dominated every conversation is slowly being replaced by cautious excitement for what lies ahead. For the first time, the future feels real again. In the end, Anita's story is not defined by cancer, but by the courage she discovered while facing it. She has endured pain, fear, and exhaustion, yet she never allowed despair to silence her hope. With the tumor shrinking and surgery on the horizon, she stands as living proof that perseverance can rewrite even the darkest chapters. As Vernon once said, nothing can defeat them when they refuse to give up. And together, they now step forward, not as survivors in waiting, but as a family finally allowed to believe in tomorrow.